What is happening, YouTube and weight loss warriors? It's your boy C Dub, and I'm back with another video. And today I'm going to talk about alternative day fasting. If you've never been on this channel before, I talk about all kinds of different fasting, weight loss, and health related topics. I started this channel to hook you up with tips, tricks, and ideas that I learned along the way in my 125-pound weight loss journey to help you out on your journey. Thanks for clicking on the channel. I hope you become a subscriber and a weight loss warrior. And now that that's out the way, let's hop into alternative day fasting. And I want everybody to understand that it's not something that I practice, but I have done it a few times and I have some knowledge on it. And I did a lot of research and looking into things and developed an opinion on it. So I felt like I could share that opinion with you guys because I get so many questions about alternative day fasting and people wanting to know if this is something that can help them and wanting to know different information about it. So the first thing I want to address is there's two different kinds of alternative day fasting that are kind of in the mainstream or popular. One of which you're eating every other day, and on your non-eating day, you're allowed to consume 25% of what you normally would, or around 500 to 600 calories. So this is something that a lot of people do and don't see results on. And studies have shown that it really isn't that much better than just a calorie restriction diet, which we also know whenever you're on a calorie restriction diet, over the course of time, your metabolism slows down and it makes it harder for you to maintain any weight loss you've had, and it makes things a little bit of a struggle moving forward. But when you do alternative day fasting the right way without 500 calories, 500 to 600 calories on your fasting day, and have 0 calories on your fasting day, there is results there. And the thing that a lot of people don't understand is when your body goes into a situation where it knows it's fasting, it actually has built-in mechanisms that protect its muscle and protect you from dropping your metabolism down. And that is huge. So going on longer term fasts is different than restricting calories. And your body looks at that 500 calories you took as you restricting the calories from it. And that's when it starts messing with your metabolism and starts to slow you down and put you in a situation that you don't want to be in. So I highly suggest, if you're looking into alternative day fasting, you on your alternative day, on your fasting day, you make sure that you're eating 0 calories. Now, with that said, is it effective? Well, if you just think about the basics of what we're talking about here and say that if you generally eat, every single day and you're overeating, if you stop eating on, the consecutive days, so you eat Monday and you don't Tuesday, and you eat Wednesday and you don't Thursday, and so forth and so on, you're going to intake half the food in a year that you would have intaken otherwise. And that's of course going to result in weight loss unless you increase the amount of food you would normally eat on your eating day. It is a way of cutting half of your food out, which is huge, which in turn is exactly why I think OMAD was successful for me personally. Was I took my food and I'm only eating a third of what I would eat, because I always ate big meals no matter what. And when you count snacking throughout the day, I really am only eating a third of what I would normally eat. So by cutting your food right in half, you are going to make a huge dent in weight loss. You're going to have success, and it will absolutely work. You will see your weight go down. One of the beautiful things that a lot of people don't talk about with alternative day fasting is you can implement intermittent fasting with it. And a lot of people say, well, just go to your standard day of eating. Well, if you're able to do a 16 and 8 instead of a standard day of eating on your eating day, that extra amount of time you would spend fasting there that you wouldn't if you would just get up and eat in the morning is going to be huge, because it's going to dip you in past the 24-hour mark and into the 36 hour mark, and it's going to get you into some of that autophagy, and it's going to, which is the good we all want, right? If you don't know what that is, check this card out, watch it. It'll tell you about autophagy, but it'll get you some of that good autophagy, and it's going to help you burn guaranteed body fat. So a 16 and 8 with alternative day fasting can be a huge thing. Another thing that I like about that idea is this concept. The one big downfall that I see on alternative day fasting is not the results that you lose weight, it's keeping them off long term. Because what happens normally is you lose a bunch of weight. Let's say you've lost 100 pounds in a year and you've done alternative day fasting. And so you've had great results and you feel good. Well, it's not going to be very long before you start eating again every single day. but you haven't adjusted the amount of food that you've eaten. And so you're right back to where you started before you started losing weight. And now you're overeating on an everyday basis. So in the course of another year or two, you're going to gain that weight back. And so that's a big hiccup. And so it's very hard to stay on alternative day fasting for the rest of your life. People say that about OMAD, but I found that OMAD is very easy for me to stay to do every single day, no matter what. Some people might have difficulties, but if you can take your general, fasting protocol and you can say, well, now I'm going to do a 16 and 8 or a warrior diet, that would be the best. If you could do a warrior diet with alternative day fasting, then once you go back to a regular eating plan, if you have a healthy meal at the beginning of your 4-hour eating window, if you don't know what warrior is, it's 4 hours of eating and 20 hours of fasting. So if you have a healthy one in the beginning and then a standard meal after that, what you've done coming out of alternative day fasting is you've still pretty much reduced your calorie intake way low for the rest of your life because you're on a fasting protocol moving forward when you get off of alternative day. Now, I do have some people that have supported this channel that are alternate day fasters that have been doing this year in and year out for a very long time. And they say that this is the eating lifestyle that they choose and they're going to continue to do it moving forward. And they've had great results. So I want to let you understand that if you plan on continuing to do alternative day fasting, it is something that is going to have success. A lot of good, solid benefits because you're going through a 48-ish hour plus fast all the time here, right? And so that, or at least a 36 if you're doing the 16 and 8 style with it. So that is a huge benefit because, again, autophagy. So I think that at the end of the day, alternative day fasting is something that can work for anyone, and it can, be great success. I want to take 1 second here, though, to let everybody know that this is one of the problems that I personally see in this community, and it goes with alternative day fasting and across the board, is we're a community in the fasting community of labelers. Our keto people think that if you don't do keto, you have a problem. Our 16 and 8 people believe in the 16 and 8. And then they'll say, well, there's the warrior and then there's OMAD. And we group these things into these windows that we cannot, we can break those windows down, but we don't. We talk about them all the time. How many times do you guys hear of a 19 and 5 or a 21 and 3 or a 17 and 7 kind of deal, right? We don't hear about that stuff because they're odd numbers or they're something that doesn't sound appealing to us. But at the end of the day, there is no right fasting protocol or no right fasting thing. So just because alternative day fasting has a name doesn't mean you can't use parts of that in your journey and not be an alternative day faster. And I think that that's something that's important for us to understand. Remember, every Monday I didn't eat for 6 months of my weight loss journey, maybe even more. There wasn't a single Monday I ate. And that helped me lose a lot of weight. And in a way, I was alternative day fasting there because I was eating Sunday and I was eating Tuesday, but I didn't put a label on it. And you can do that too. You can put fast days throughout your week and kind of do 5 days of eating versus 2 or 4 and 3. 4 and 3 is really what alternate day fasting is. And if you're doing 4 days of eating and 4 days of eating and 3 days of fasting, plus on top of that, you're in a fasting protocol on your eating days, you're going to have giant amounts of success. I know that. It's very powerful. And I think you're going to find that it's not that bad because a lot of people don't mention this either. But one of the great things about alternative day fasting is the fact that you don't eat at all sometimes can curb your hunger, as opposed to when you start your 16-hour eating window, you don't want to just eat 2 meals. You want to eat for the whole 8 hours you have available to eat. And that's not really what you should be doing. You should only be eating twice in a 16 and 8. So if you're that person that starts your 16 and 8 and you can't stop eating, start your 16 and 8 on your eating day and then have a fasting day to go with it. And I think you'll see that you'll have a lot of success there too. So there's so many different ways to get this job done. And we as a community need to stop and putting labels on everything and understand that we need a break from eating. It's something my father-in-law said to me today when we were hanging out for the first time since March. I got to see my father-in-law. And one of the things he said to me today was how much he was enjoying not eating after dinner and not eating again until after he's worked out in the morning. And he said he didn't know if it was 15 or 17-hour fast, depending on what day it was. It goes whatever way. And I said, don't worry about labeling it. And he was talking about how good he felt during it. And it just occurred to me that it's something that we have to, as a community, get more used to, is understanding that we don't have to label it. It doesn't have to be 16 hours of fasting. It can be 17, 18, 19, whatever. And I think that moving forward, I hope you guys all understand that. And I hope that this alternative day fasting video got you some information that you needed to know. I got a video popping up right here that I think if you like that one, you'll like this one. And YouTube swears you're going to like that one. I don't know. Pick one of those two and definitely watch it, man. In my face, it's right there. Click on that bad boy and subscribe to this channel. It's free and it'll help me out a ton. Talk to you on the next one. Peace.